like absolute psychopaths. I mean, where's that? There's that one image that I think about all the time of this guy who placed Ethan Klein along, Tectone, Asmongold, Chibi Reviews, Nooks Taku, and all these other people. Sincerely, right? Oh, wow, you literally linked it to me right as I was talking about it. Like, this guy seemingly understood that Ethan Klein is a part of this brigade of, I'm going to do my haters downfall segment real quick before we get to AOC in between everything. Apparently, Ethan Klein posted this on his Instagram because someone in his subreddit said, "This is a serious message for Ethan Klein. Please look into hiring outside help because Hasan/Snark's propaganda machine has become too powerful. The lies and misinformation needs to be stopped." To which he responded with, "Tom went to all the top PR firms a month or two ago and they all rejected us. I am literally more canceled than rapists and murderers. I'm genuinely close to giving up." I don't know if this is real or not because it sounds pretty crazy. I feel like the whole purpose of crisis PR is to literally rehabilitate the imagery of what do you call it? Like some of the worst of the worst. Like, I mean, these guys they work with Kevin Spacey, right? I mean, they've worked with Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy. He probably just didn't want to pay the price or something. I don't know. But I said, dude spent the last 2+ years calling every pro-Palestinian content creator anti-Semitic terrorist, tried to get us deplatformed, harassed us with a legion of pedo right-wing allies, launched bullshit lawsuits against 3 smaller creators to bully and silence them while losing 60% of his audience, dropped the lawsuits, focus on what's rotting inside of you. It's so crazy. The reason he went to these firms is because his subreddit keeps telling him you have this massive PR firm that's giving you all these interviews and articles. Yeah, he does not understand that, like, I don't think he understands that I do not have a PR firm. I have never hired a PR firm. I don't have a PR firm. These are journalists independently reaching out. To do interviews or to ask me what my take is on like coverage every now and then. Like GQ asked about my take on China maxing, right? Like, it's just like stuff that I do. I don't have sponsors. I don't have a PR firm. I just have my community. That's all I have. And in spite of all of the negative, like insane negative YouTube videos out there, framed around like how I'm the biggest villain that American society has ever encountered. And there are so many of them. Okay? There are so many of them out there. Oh no. LeBron James on Deni Avdija season leading to the All-Star game and wanting to visit Israel in the future. Oh no. Oh no, stop. We're not looking at that right now. That's crazy. Oh God. Anyway, oh God, why did you send that to me? Okay, anyway, but the point that I was getting to here before I got rudely interrupted by finding out my goat is washed and eating the psychic damage of a century, of a lifetime here. The point I was making is that the point that I was making is that people are adults. They have the capacity to see right from wrong. And as long as you just keep, you keep to your message, as long as you keep to your commitments, like people will eventually realize that maybe some of the disparaging remarks that are coming from right-wingers and all these other people is just bullshit. And that's why I always say, like, there's not really anything you can do other than be consistent and be as charitable as you possibly can be and just keep pushing through it, no matter what people throw your way. And it's like very strange. Weird how anyone goes against Hasan ends up being libeled and slandered in oblivion by Hasan, his orbiters, and his army of simps. Weird how people who obsessively attack and defame Hasan end up crying and blaming him when the general public criticizes them for their own words and actions. Click this link, scroll down, read the thread. This is why people hate Ethan. I mean, I'm not gonna dive too much into it. Like, I think everyone at this point knows what Ethan Klein is about, and the only reason why everyone knows what Ethan Klein is about is because of Ethan Klein's own, like, steadfast advocacy. Sometimes directly being pro-Israel, and other times, or most of the time, attacking Israel's critics. And that's it. He has created this weird orbit of right-wingers because he's decided that, people like myself, people who are anti-Zionist, are his number one ops. of course, people are eventually going to learn that lesson, right? And he's destroyed his own career in the process. And it's so crazy because like I explained this to him literally 2.5 years ago at this point. Yo, keep the burnt peanuts name out your mouth. Stay in your lane, boy. Okay, buddy. And who he chooses to target with his vicious smears and who he refuses to address is also obviously enlightening as well. Sex Destiny has called him a pedophile who molests his own children. Like, that's something that Destiny said about Ethan Klein. Destiny straight up said Ethan Klein molests his own children. And Ethan has spent the last 2.5 years attacking everyone and anyone that has said said nothing of the sort, right? Like, not even remotely close. And it's rather odd at this point that he just like does not address that at all. He doesn't want it because he knows that his audience is comprised almost entirely of people who want anti-Hasan content. And that happens to be Destiny's community. He doesn't attack Asmongold because he's worried about losing his remaining fandom that is, again, pro Asmongold, pro Destiny. But once again, this is something that I have mentioned to my haters for years, right? Free advice that they will never take for some weird reason, which is that if you spend your entire advocacy attacking someone like myself, and I spend all of my limited amount of time online focusing on the issues, right? And then sometimes responding to the hatred, but for the most part, focusing on these issues, you are inevitably going to develop an audience that simply wants the fuck Hasan content. Now, you might think that there is a robust market for it, and that market has certainly grown over the years, but you will lose yourself in this process. You will become a vehicle of hatred. You will become you will lol-cow yourself pretty much. Because, like it or not, a lot of the people who oppose my worldview, a lot of the people who oppose me, end up doing a lot of fuck shit. So you're aligning with a lot of horrible people. And sometimes that might feel welcoming. Sometimes that might feel comforting, because who doesn't want affirmation, right? Everybody wants that. Everyone wants a sense of community. Everyone wants to feel loved, and everyone wants to find agreement, right? But before you realize it, you have surrounded yourself with not like-minded individuals, not kind individuals, but instead psychos, like absolute psychopaths. I mean, where's that? There's that one image that I think about all the time of this guy who placed Ethan Klein along, Tectone, Asmongold, Chibi Reviews, Nooks Taku, and all these other people. Sincerely, right? Oh, wow. You literally linked it to me right as I was talking about it. Like, this guy seemingly understood that Ethan Klein is a part of this brigade of right-wing chuds who are basically a blight on not only the gaming community, but the culture commentary community in general. Emerald Apple says they were gamers, anime and manga fans, and pop culture commentators who never touched politics. But as the world drifted from truth and woke, politics invaded our hobbies. Many content creators turned to political and defend their passions. Leftists, thriving on lies and disinformation, hate it when apolitical people join the fray, facing death threats, false allegations, and insane propaganda from the mentally unwell and are labeled grifters. As George Orwell puts it, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. More people are getting red pill daily, unable to tolerate the nonsense promoted by mainstream news. And like, this person sincerely posted this. This is not a joke. This was back in October 24th, 2025. Why is Ethan Klein in this photo? Surrounded by all these other fucking lolicon enjoyers and whatnot. Because that's his output. That's what he is. That's who he has surrounded himself with. A bunch of like 40-plus-year-old losers who spend every waking moment talking about woke. I mean, how many of these guys have also, since this post, been directly fucking canceled? Rape Tone. This guy has a YouTube video out on him now because he had a Discord server where like children were being groomed and he was doing nothing about it. Something along those lines. I've been meaning to watch the Nick Hindros YouTube video that's like an hour long about that ridiculous and potentially criminal endeavor, right? Yeah, Nooks Taco also replied to this. Whoever prayed on my downfall, pray harder. The downfall will never happen because Nooks is on the side of God and justice. It might be corny to say, but historically speaking, atheists and secularism only function on the framework of an existing cultural morality and end up corrupting it and destroying it in the end. Like, these guys talking like fucking anime villains, you know? Like, you got Grums, who scammed his audience. You got Chibi Reviews, who also scammed his audience, and in his lolly enjoyer talks about like drawn child cartoon porn and how wonderful it is, and has the number one villain, the main villain on the internet. Everyone is making fun of him for getting engaged to a girl who then fucked his best friend of 10 years, and then his entire friend group literally sided with his fiance. You know, I don't know who half of these other people are, but I mean, this is a coalition of some of the worst people, and obviously their top defender, Asmongold, right? The question is, why does this guy think Ethan Klein is on their side? Because he is, okay? And it's so interesting that like 2.5 years ago, or even at this point, almost, it's going to be fucking 3 years soon. What is this? D double down on calling him a pedo. Quick daily reminder that Ethan from H3H3 is likely a pedophile who's molested his own children. Destiny, who's the pedo VA? I can't play it because they use pedo voice actors. And then he says Ethan Klein. Yeah, I mean, of course he's fucking lasering him because he knows that Ethan is afraid of contesting Destiny. That's what it is. And he's right. Destiny is right to know that Ethan won't ever push back against him because a big chunk of Ethan's community is basically being lolcowed by Destiny. What is this? Ethan Klein was literally a pro sports gambling before he was against sports gambling. He's more like Alex Jones than he is any kind of lefty message. So that's basically what it is, right? It's not dissimilar to Elon Musk versus Donald Trump. It's also sad how little people came to your defense. I mean, it's fine. I can 1v100 these motherfuckers. I can. The reason why I can 1v100 these motherfuckers is because I have truth on my side. Okay? I believe genuinely that history is slanted towards progress. Okay? It bends towards justice no matter what. And that's why I can stand on my principles and keep pushing through the endless torrent of hatred and smears. Okay? I will be the sin eater. I will be the fucking leader of woke Sharia at a time when many have lost faith in woke, especially now that woke is coming back, right? I think you will also see, yeah, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards Sharia is right. I think you'll also see like even the edges of the commentary sphere chipping away at a bunch of my fucking haters now, because not only is woke coming back in a big way, but these guys also blew it. They got way too confident in their worldview. They thought that they were going to be the domineering force of politics in the cultural sphere for the next decade or so. Okay? They had too much hubris. They got too arrogant. They became more and more vicious as well, right? This is the problem. When you feel like your position is unshakable, you start posting shit like this, and then without realizing it, one by one, a lot of these people in this fucking list get outed as either, being pedophile curious, pedophile adjacent, or being sexual assaulters, rapists. That's it. And this is where we're at. You understand? Not to stray away from the topic, but in LA, 2 more days, flew from staying in WeHo to Joshua Tree yesterday, just walked around. As someone who occasionally touches grass, you got any LA recs or must-do activities? No, I don't. I only go to public parks. Ethan thought he could replace you with centrist liberalism. The problem is I don't think Ethan has like a well-defined political worldview. He has no political education. He has no well-defined political worldview. He has no vision for a better future. He's just a pure reactionary. And not even on the political sense. He's like purely negatively polarized himself against whatever I believe. And a lot of people do this on the internet, unfortunately, because they themselves also don't have a real world view. Like Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi, but he has a well-defined worldview. This is not always a good thing, right? In Nick Fuentes' case, his worldview is disastrous, it's disgusting, it's repulsive, it's violent. But he has the workings of a political project, right? And this is part of the reason why he's always been able to withstand attacks. Okay? A lot of these other guys don't have a well-defined worldview or a political project, and they're simply fucking reacting to whatever they perceive I'm presenting and saying it's wrong and bad. Okay? You can't really do that. You can't really do that. You have no movement. You have no association with an affirmative vision for a better future. You have nothing. You're just simply taking it one day at a time and turning around and saying, whatever this guy is saying is good, I disagree with. And if you develop your worldview around that, inevitably it'll come crumbling down. I tried to warn Ethan early on, right after October 7. I said, look, you're going down a dangerous path. If you do this, your audience is going to dramatically change. If you do this, people are going to perceive you as being pro-Israel, which, at the time I thought there was a room for growth for Ethan. I thought he was a liberal Zionist who was very critical of Israel at the time that could potentially become an anti-Zionist. I was wrong. He went in the opposite direction. And that is and I mean, there it is. Like this reality is one that he designed for himself. Okay. Oh, it's a sad state of affairs, but it is entirely self-inflicted. And the people that he aligned himself with are horrible, monstrous individuals who've done awful things to people. And that's who you are basically surround yourself with when you have a purely antagonistic vision that is the opposite of whatever you perceive as me representing. Right? Step one could be drop the lawsuits. Yes, I say it one more time. If Ethan Klein dropped the lawsuits against Denims and Morgan, okay, this would be a step in the right direction. Here's more free PR advice, which Ethan will not listen to. I know for a fact, because he didn't listen to me way back when I, was looking out for him. Like, think about it this way. He also spent all that money on those lawsuits, bullying Casey Tron into coming out and apologizing to Asmongold, right? Like, that was ridiculous. It's so strange how much developing a legion of sycophants and demanding complete fealty to whatever your worldview is can lead you astray. Like, he now thinks he owns Casey Tron. What is this? Ethan Klein threatens Casey Tron for expressing an opinion on Emerald that he disagrees with, and follows it up with bizarrely downplaying rape. I'm surprised she's still running her mouth. Hopefully I don't have to remind her.
To the show and my favorite benefactor. She's my favorite patron.
Yeah, this is the other side of the story, which is that, like, you're a mean bully, right? You're a fucking mean bully. It's gross. Of course people are not going to like this. Like, it's so strange to do this to Casey Tron. Like, you feel as though you've picked your targets wisely. People that don't have the financial support and the financial backing to push back against your lawfare. Okay? You're doing this knowing full well that you will galvanize some of the worst parts of the internet. Like, oh, some of the grossest guys who hate these people unconditionally will obviously come to my defense. And they did. And they did. And most people won't actually stick their neck out for these people because most content creators they're too afraid. They're too afraid to receive the same scrutiny and the anger and resentment that the right-wing pedophilia brigade has brought about all of these other content creators, disparage them endlessly. I saw a tweet the other day talking about like how, I checked in on Frogan. I found out this views. You'd think that like, the way people talk about her, you think that she's one of the biggest content creators. It's like, yeah, that's the point. This is what people are doing. They're like hyper focusing on someone like her and trying to make her life a living hell for no other reason than their own personal enjoyment. It is one of the grossest, most insane things I've seen. I don't understand how anyone would approach reality this way. Like, your life is so fucking meaningless if this is what you're doing.
Isn't it nice getting a check every month from my favorite patron? So, friend of the show, Casey Tron, everybody. And she has a take about Emiru. I'm surprised she's still running her mouth.
The enemy is strong and weak. I mean, that's a common argument, right? Very common. Wait, did you just follow just to say that, only to then unfollow, and therefore you can't even reply any longer? That's so crazy.
I recall her apologizing to Asmongold, who she despises.
Yeah.
That was pretty humiliating. I'm surprised she's still running her mouth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is so humiliating for Casey Tron. What you did to Casey Tron is so humiliating for Casey Tron. Anyone with 2 working brain cells saw immediately through what you were trying to do and thought you were a gross weirdo for doing that. Yeah, I was fucking shocked to find she streams to 70 people. I see clips hating on her going mega viral every week. She literally has 70 people watching her streams to farm back clips and 5 genuine viewers who like her. She hasn't fallen out because she was never a large streamer. Everyone is so fucking racist. They stalk and harass her like she's one of the biggest stars on the planet. She gets all the negatives and none of the benefits of fame. Be ashamed of what you are. Yes. It's crazy. Your trust in people's goodness is unparalleled. Most people, myself included, are way too cynical of people like Ethan Klein, whose wife was literally in the Israeli occupational forces. Damn, highlighting my fall off? Okay, calm down, Frogan. I'm not highlighting your fall off. I just think it's gross that people fucking stalk the shit out of you. It's ridiculous. You're such a kind person. You're so you have a penchant for drama. Like, who cares, you know? Who cares? There's a million content creators who are infinitely messier than Morgan. The reason why they fucking attack her endlessly is because she's hijabi. You know? That's it. For the most part, she doesn't do political commentary. And if you were to ask all these fucking haters, they would say, oh, she's the most political content creator of all time. It's disgusting. It's because everyone lives in these different alternative realities now. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult to make an honest assessment of people because everybody operates in clip cycles, right? Different realities like you. Yes, different realities like mine. The reality in which people will prey on my downfall and actively claim that I have fallen off or died, that my life is over, my career is over, I'm flinging around wildly because of that reason. And then, like, while people are posting that shit on Twitter, I'm, speaking to an entire auditorium that sold out in fucking 3 minutes after crashing the goddamn website in a foreign country in Canada. Like, which one do you think is more? Which one do you think is beholden to what's actually taking place in the real world? How did you manage to make it about her being Muslim? You're right. Islamophobia is not a fucking incredibly common bigotry that people traffic in with regular frequency. I live in a totally separate plane of existence that didn't experience Zoran Mamdani's mayoral run, where the criticisms against him for the last month of his race was just he's Muslim and he wants to do 9/11 over and over again. Certainly, there is no. Certainly, this kind of bigotry is just captured at the top. And even then, it's not a bigotry at all, right? Yes, if you are a visibly Muslim person, okay, you get attacked relentlessly for things that other people would never get attacked for. It's that simple. That's how bigotry works. It tends to highlight things that you would normally give a pass to, totally for other people in your in-group. You never give a pass to others. You actually highlight it. You make it seem like it's the most offensive thing that someone could have ever done. In any case, this is the type of stuff that most people find repulsive. That's it. Because most people don't know who the fuck Casey Tron is or who Frogan is, okay? They don't know who I am either. But especially in the case of, like, Casey Tron, Frogan, Denims, most people don't know who they are. So if you know who they are and you've, like, developed an opinion about these people, a very negative opinion about these people, you're a little abnormal. You are trafficking in these, like, you're going to some deep, dark corners of the web, basically. That's what you're doing. I have popped in and out of your stream from time to time. I always felt you were a sweetheart and enjoy some of the fun topics you were discussing. You were so kind enough to read my chat on the first time in your stream. I felt the same. That makes no sense for someone to come for you like H3. Yeah. Even Ethan Klein himself is a perfect example of like being incredibly messy, infinitely messier, infinitely sloppier with his like arguments, with his sourcing of information, with who he chooses to attack, the intensity and frequency of how he attacks people who he's vilified to his audience, how much they brigade, how much they lose their fucking minds. Like all this stuff that he does, a lot of people don't actually perceive as being all that bad, I guess, because he still has like a fucking fairly sizable audience in comparison to the people he's criticizing. Not myself, of course, but many of the other people that he's put in the legal crosshairs because he knows he can bully them with his finances.
It's like her whole her whole platform is just like
By the way,
to, like,
why are you
the
so
worst.
mad at her? Like they're talking about her so nasty. She didn't do anything except be like, why do I need to say fuck ICE? Like I'm just here playing video games, right?
Worst fucking men. And
Well, I'm guessing it's the same
like-
reason that Denims is going in on her because of what she said about the lawsuit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why she's mad. That was Casey. I think maybe Casey Tron forget her public statement, but she also thought my lawsuit was like really valid.
Like this is like a rich kid treating human beings like his plaything, right? He's like, well, remember the lawsuit where you apologize? It's like, yeah, dude, you extorted a person who is infinitely poorer than you and you forced them to settle and you made them write like a hostage video. That is psychotic. Why the fuck don't you realize that people look at that and think you're a villain? You're like a villain in a cartoon. It is cartoonish. It's comical if it didn't have real world implications, you know? It's crazy. Like he's behaving like a Disney movie villain, dude, in such a transparently awful way. And the vibes are atrocious, and people inevitably tune out of that because they're like, this sucks. But because he can't find within himself any sort of fault whatsoever, he needs to find new villains to spread the attention around over and then act like the reason why everybody on the internet fucking hates him is because, I don't know. Who knows? It's because they don't understand that he's like the most moral person. He's the most moral streamer, the only democracy, the only democratic streamer in the entire sphere, right? Oh, it must be because of snark. It must be because of the negative PR. No, man, it's because of what you're doing. It's because of what you're doing. My friends think you're a loser because they're on the drama slop. I'm indifferent to politics side of the internet. Yeah, there are some people like that. I mean, you can, if you're good friends with them, you can educate them on this shit. You can show them that that's not the case. You know, ask them what the lolly tubers that they watch that have, you know, pedophilia allegations have done in the real world to change politics for the better. You know, do you understand? Ethan is the shy Davide of YouTube. So yeah, and before cheating hits Ethan's circle like it did the homie yesterday, I don't know. I'm not preying on anybody's downfall here. Not even fucking Ethan's, but he's clearly more invested in his own downfall than anybody else. Okay. Anyway, we're done with the Ethan Klein portion of this haterade.